Chamge mising chitab kalenjin amang ole chamegei eng olda tugul ole itesetai nyorune tugetab Kass TV eng saishechu kabeit kasarta nebo tetutieng'ung neichame mising nebo Kass Mashinani nebo betutab rani ko somok kasi tarik 23 arawetab ang'wan eng kenyit nebo 2025 nesomanwo kekwani Bernard Koech. Itagat ketestai ole kitaune emetab China ole katestai kurset eng chemung'arainik chebo emonoto bo China kobwa emoni akotoi mung'aroshek eng sectors cheterter chebo bandab tai. Kamwa President William Ruto kole mitei barak tilyandit eng kwenutab Kenya ak emonoto bo China akunoto kotokotin mising investors chebo emonoto kobwa emoni akotoi mung'aroshek. Kong'alali Ruto eng tuyet nebo Kenya China Investor Roundtable Meeting nekakiyai eng taunit neo nebo Beijing eng emonoto bo China.
Kenya is open for business. Our country is undergoing rapid transformation, which constitute the fourth medium-term plan of our Vision 2030. This agenda is anchored on 5 key pillars: agricultural transformation, universal health coverage, affordable housing, the digital and creative economy, and the development and expansion of micro, small, and medium enterprises. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we mark 6 decades of diplomatic and economic cooperation between Kenya and China, my current visit seeks to chart a new course towards mutual prosperity. We are seeking strategic partnerships to expand our infrastructure, including transport, energy, logistics, and urban development. I invite Chinese investors to explore a wide array of opportunities and priority sectors in Kenya that are ripe with opportunity. From manufacturing, we offer promising prospects ranging from textiles and pharmaceuticals to electric mobility and construction materials, all supported by Kenya's expanding industrial base. In agriculture and agro-processing, where our rich agricultural base offers a double-digit return on investment, our ICT and BPO sector, housing and construction, tourism, creative economy, mining, and blue economy are other sectors that have wide-ranging opportunities for investment. We offer a balanced portfolio of sectors for all of you to consider. With our strategic location along global trade routes, as part of the Belt and Road Initiative, we offer world-class connectivity that augments the business ecosystem on the African continent and beyond, offering investors a natural entry point into Africa's next wave of industrialization, innovation, and cross-border trade.
China stands ready to work together with Kenya to jointly defend the rules-based multilateral trading system, to uphold trade liberalization and facilitation, and inject more of a stability and certainty into global economy and global trade. Currently, China is advancing Chinese modernization on all fronts through high-quality development. China enjoys broad market potential, a well-established industrial ecosystem, and enduring competitive or comprehensive competitiveness. The fundamentals in sustaining China's long-term growth will never change. Kenya, as an important economy in East Africa, enjoys sound economic foundation and unique geographical advantages. It is a leader in industrial development in East African region. Going forward, China stands ready to take the opportunity of implementing the important consensus of our leaders during the visit of the President this time, as well as the 10 partnership actions of the FOCAC Beijing Summit last year, to encourage and support our companies to leverage our respective advantages, comparative advantages, to further deepen trade and investment cooperation, and to elevate the China-Kenya Trade and Economic Cooperation to a new stage.
Yakitestai ak logoiwekab emet chitab Kalenjin kokachut kebeberta nebo second reading eng karonetab rani ng'atutiet nebo Social Protection Bill eng bunge noto nebo National Assembly. Ole ng'atutienoto kotokyinigei kekimit tetutikab ketoret biik cheosen koboto biik chetinye kewelutik eng borwekwai konyor rabinik choto chekikochini eng arawet age tugul kobun serikali nebo emetab Kenya. Ng'atutienoto bo Social Protection Bill ko ng'atutiet namba 12 nebo 2025 eng bunge noto bo National Assembly akebendi agenge eng agenge akoi bunge noto asikeipchi ng'alalutik chetesetai eng inguni.
Is very key and well explained in the Act, where it talks about equity, social justice, things that has always been forgotten. In the past, you would find some provincial administration, particularly the chiefs, are the ones who are given that responsibility to go and identify, for them only to bring people who do not deserve. So the implementation of this goes towards people who are benefited, and now the inclusiveness, non-discrimination and participatory. And I think that is a key, Honorable Speaker, for us to be able to identify. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the clause 6, talks about the county government involvement. In Nakuru, for example, we have a place called Arms House. It is a place where elderly people are taken care of by the county government. It talks about how then do we bring on board county government in this program. And it talks about the county government, different county governments will come their own legislation on how best can they ride on this act to be able to make their own legislation, so for them to be able to handle social protection matters. And in Nakuru, for example, it used to be very vibrant when we used to have the municipalities. But as we are talking now, you will find only 3 or 4 wazees who are there, even sometimes lacking. So it is important, the involvement of county government, by even including them as reps in the board, because I think we have one vacancy that is left for county governors to be able to bring their representation in the board so that they can be part and parcel of this very important issue. Honorable Speaker, 9 members in the board. I think, again, we need to look critically as Parliament, that we've been talking about the number of people who should. Is it a must that we must have 9, or can we have a lesser number, but very effective? The aspect of also, of course, it's understandable where you bring a PS whose ministry is involved and Treasury because of the disbursement of the amounts of money. But, Honorable Speaker, it is key as we give the Cabinet Secretary an opportunity to pick from the other 4 outside the government, that it is important, so that again we don't have legislation. Honorable Speaker, the Climate Change Council, for example, that we were saying that we get a representative from a certain organization that deals with, then they end up taking themselves, if you pick from this association and not from the other, they go to court, and then the Climate Change Council never worked for 5 years. We vetted, and we were unable to give the names to the president to pick, because again they went back to court. So again it is important, as the Cabinet Secretary is speaking, so that again we avoid legislation. I should just give a direct appointment, so that again we don't end up having a board that will never even be working because that you didn't pick a member from this board that is associated. You know, like LSK, it's only one body. If you tell LSK, give us a person, they give. But you find in these other setups, you find they have different small bodies here and there, and then they bring. Honorable Speaker, the board member, the experience aspect. Honorable Speaker, had an opportunity for the National School Drama Festivals that were happening in Nakuru. Honorable Speaker, had an opportunity to accompany the President for when they visited State House. And one of the plays that won in that drama festival for 2025 was won by a school here in Nairobi. And it was talking about how generally life is all about. And at one point talked about experience. Honorable Speaker, that you could not, one of the students who had just finished and had first-class honors could not be able to be employed just because they didn't have an experience. Honorable Speaker, experience again is something that we really need to look into. The 10 years experience, Honorable Speaker, in my thinking, and hopefully when we'll be going for the third reading, we will be bringing some amendments so that again we don't lock out youthful members of the society who might be able to want to join because of the experience. Honorable Speaker, the cash transfer and the transfer in kind also brings about something that is very critical, the services. Honorable Speaker, we cannot only talk about that cash transfer and transfer in kind, and then we forget about rehabilitation. And this bill brings about rehabilitation. Honorable Speaker, you'll find stressful wazaes or even young people who are out there who needs this. So it brings these services, be it of psychological care, be it of matters to do the home-based care like the one that, again, this bill talks very effectively on that line. Honorable Speaker, the members, how are you identified? It talks about a Kenyan citizen, of course, and of course the orphans, the people with disability, but it also talks about non-Kenyan citizen which requires an emergency. And Honorable Speaker, that is key, because sometimes you might find you are not a Kenyan, but you are here and there is an emergency, and this bill has taken care of that issue. On application, who applies, Honorable Speaker? Elderly people, sometimes they are too old for them to be able to apply, and so this bill gives a way for a representative of the beneficiary to be able to apply on behalf of the beneficiary, which is a very good indication. Honorable Speaker, on matters to do with the appeals, under 33 is 30 days. That if you're not happy with the decision of a board, at least you have 30 days for you to be able to make an appeal. Honorable Speaker, about the abuse, termination, abuse suspension, if you abuse this, then you find yourself in terms of you can be suspended. Honorable Speaker, there is quite a lot, particularly on data protection, that any person who is handling data related to this, it's key. So you must abide by the Data Protection Act so that you don't give out information that is required. Honorable Speaker, on matters of the penalties, I think that is another place that we'll be bringing some amendments. Honorable Speaker, a fine of 200K and 6 months because of unlawful disclosure, that is so little. It will encourage people to be able, and maybe fraud, 2 million and 5 years, that is where we should. So we'll be bringing some amendments, Honorable Speaker. And lastly is about the transition, that the board will take up all that was being done if it goes through, but most importantly, we don't go to what we have seen in SHA, that I'm a member of NHIF, and then when I transit to SHA, I have to register afresh. Honorable Speaker, the transition is very clear that you continue.
Member for Unyenjes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I wish from the onset to say that I am in full support of this proposal or this bill. Matters to do with the senior citizens, the people living with the disabilities, the most vulnerable people in our society, is a matter that we need to address as fast as we can. And you see, we will be judged, Honorable Speaker, by the manner in which we treat these senior citizens. It is always very improper, Honorable Speaker, when we have some people who are benefiting from the money given to the elderly, while there are still people of the same age who do not benefit from the same fund. So it is unfair, and I think it is time, Honorable Speaker, that we have a regulation that is able to properly organize these people so that we can have fairness in the manner in which this money is shared, or rather this support is shared, so that also we have a good society. Honorable Speaker, there is a time I had a chance to go around my constituency and taking stock of the affairs in my constituency, and I realized that we have so many people living with disabilities. And when you go to the records available within government, you realize that most of these people are not enlisted. So there is no support that they get. They are hidden in some places in the rural areas and some in the urban areas. Many of them are not even able to access any form of educational training. And most importantly, they don't get any support from government. And I believe it is because, first of all, statistics on the number that we have of these people is rather unknown. So I would support this bill so that we have a registry of these people, so that in every constituency, in every ward, in every sublocation, the government of Kenya is able to tell how many people deserve the assistance. But going to what the Honorable Kionjori said, Honorable Speaker, even as we think of how to support these senior citizens and those that deserve this form of support, it's good to think of how we can support them to have extra income, because I do not think that it is sustainable, because the money that we give them is money drawn from the taxpayers. It is the people of Kenya that contribute this money in form of taxes. How about if we are able to enable or facilitate these people to make some extra money from what they do? Because you realize that a number of them have some pieces of land where they can do some basic farming. They can keep a cow, they can keep a goat. Some have some few coffee bushes, some have some few tea bushes. How about if we ensure that they can get more money from what they do? Yeah, like we acknowledge that the government of Kenya, or rather Kenya Kwanza administration, promised that milk will be sold for not less than 50 shillings. Yes, while that is happening, we also take notice that we are buying animal feeds at a very high cost. So the benefits that we are getting from selling for 50 and above, that is being taken away by the high cost of animal feeds. How about if we are able to address such, so that those people who can keep a cow, a goat, or can do some basic farming, can keep chicken here and there, are able to supplement their income? Because it is not sustainable if a lot of people in this country become independent. So even as we think of having a legal framework to assist these people, Honorable Speaker, I believe it is okay if we can legislate to support these people in a way that they can get extra income. So having said that, Honorable Speaker, I support.
Chotachitab Kalenjin ko pichainik koboto tuget neitun agenge eng agenge kong'ete bunge nebo National Assembly ole ng'olole MPs kebeberta nebo oeng anan second reading nebo ng'atutiet noton nebo Social Protection Bill. Ko yekitestai ak logoiwekab emet ko tesetai komie tetutik chebo chopchinetabgei nebo labatetab kenyini nebo Eldoret City Marathon ne tetat keyai eng betutab Jumapili nebo weekend ni eng Eldoret City eng county nebo Uasin Gishu. Kamwa director nebo youth eng kibagengeitab labatet nebo Athletics Kenya Barnabas Korir kole konunoik tugul chetetat kikoito eng labatonoto bo Jumapili ko silingishek milionishek 18 ole kosom kekanapta sekta nebo labatet asikonyorune kelchin roik chechang eng emetab Kenya. Kong'ololi Barnabas Korir eng tetutiet nebo Lene emet eng Kass FM International eng karonetab rani.
Ngeba nguno prize money igere ile mi parak missing ko 18 million chekimuch kekon kikochi prizes. Imagine now an athlete winning about 3.5 both male and female number agenge ngirgen chepkondo choto. So the best way now nekimuch kenget in kikochi ke building capacity nebo rwoikyo ak kikochi support asingwoe mazoezi kongen kole balawatine kawinini chepkonda kidogo ko ngot kopit kainoinatet siketes nguno bo raia korwai ko create more support ak more resources chekimuch kinde that event. So it is very important for it to succeed. Ako age kora ne critical kingele lawatoshek chemi emotinwek alak chemi bitonin ko melengi invitani maita ko 10% chebo rwoik chebendi bitonin kurwai. There are very few. Thousand chimite nguno 80% chimi kubendi no. So kemeje build a continuous industry in the country so that as we train our athletes ko filter ni mije bendi bitani ko mije ngetunguli ko mije bendi school shek, and that way that industry will continue so that now the benefits ko rwoikyo maume to kiniglen kemeje rwoikyo ko prepare ni win gold medal in Olympics, and Olympics comes in 4 years. In between what are their benefits, so that we don't just go out there and then encourage people to run. They will run until where? Until when? So we have to create pathways in your benefits so that in me activities at the we create something small now nani jemu ku toretege ngori kimenye chiba mitwo kilwane visual au kwa kitare their communities. So we see in a bigger picture the financial engagement a bit, the financial support in your way, so that we don't just wait for medals. We have to remove that idea that we talk about when we see our athletes, we are talking about gold medal. How many gold did we get? How many silver did we get? That thinking should change. That we want to see a situation where we look at Kipchoge and say, okay, yes, he's going to win a medal. Whatever he gets, the resource he gets, what kind of investment is he going to do in this country, in the community where he comes from? We encourage those who have succeeded now to plow it back to their own communities, to their own families, so that they can now grow.
Yakatestai ak logoiwekab emet chitab Kalenjin ketokyinigei komasta nebo Aldai en county nebo Nandi ole tesetai igorta nebo lumdaetab teksetab Sports Academy en komasta nebo Kesengei en komasta nebo Aldai en county nebo Nandi ole indojini korata MP nebo Aldai Marian Kitany ak ketokyinigei komasta en oretab agenge en agenge asikepchit ngalaletab MP noto bo Aldai Marian Kitany.
Tukiendelea na hii Sports Academy, kwa sababu tunaita Sports Academy. Academy inamaanisha pia inafaa kuwa na training. Si ni kweli? Hiyo institute yetu yenye ilikuwa hapo watu wakuja kujifunza mambo ya sports. Na ule mzungu atasema pale source of champions ambaye ni Aldai, ambaye ni Nandi. Nataka kwenda huko nifunzwe, pengine huko ndio taweza kukimbia kama Eliud Kipchoge. Pengine huko ndio taweza kukimbia kama hao wakimbiaji wetu wengine wenye wanakimbia. Na hiyo tukifungua hiyo college, na nataka kuambia Doreen, najua tumeshanongozana hapo, tumesema mkitukubalia kama wananchi hiyo institute ikuwe Sports Academy ambayo itakuwa training ya wananchi wetu wenye watakuja wakitumia track, wakitumia forest kukimbia, ndio wakuja wajifunze hapo. Hiyo mtakubali wananchi? Mnakubali? So wakuja waendeleshe hiyo Sports Academy. So watutengee darasa zingine na social hall ambayo itawekwa hapo. Ndio saa ile tuko na mikutano yetu tunayofanya hapo kwa social hall. Mikutano saa ile mjumbe hapo naye badala ya kupeleka kwa Bujoy analeta hapa Kesengeni. Ama mnaonaje hiyo mambo? Zinaingia sawa sawa? Pia tunajua kuwa ndio Sports Academy iweze kufanyika. Hiyo changing rooms zenye ziko hapo zinahitaji maji. Maji kiungezo. Mauna hata? So hiyo maji hatuna hapa maji. So pia tumeambia Sports Academy, Kenya Academy of Sports, hii project ikiendelea watuchimbie borehole hapa ndio maji iweze kupatikana yenye itatumika kwa hizo washrooms, itatumika kwa hii shule yetu zote za mbili, itatumika hapa kanisani, itatumika pale kwa ile college yenye tunataka kutengeneza ikuwe Sports Academy pale. Na pia hizo madarasa tutasema waongeze madarasa zingine. Najua tuko na madarasa 2 3 hapo ni 4, lakini 2 3 hapo waongeze zingine ndio ikue academy full, kwa sababu hiyo shamba ni 4 acres inatosha, vitu mingi iletwe hapa kwa sports academy yetu. Next year kwa majaliwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu tukifanya track and race Chemolo hapa, badala ya kwenda Kaptumo Boys, hapa ndio tutakuwa tukifanyanga sports, kwa sababu sasa tutakuwa na field mzuri ya kufanyia sports. Hii field ni ile ya international, si ile mchezo. Tunasikia pesa yenye imeletwa hapa 55 million, si mchezo. Nani yako na 55 million hapa? Kunaye mwenye yako naye? So tunawaletea hiyo pesa hapa, na tunataka kuambia contractor akiland, kwa sababu kutoka leo kazi inaanza leo. So si tukienda contractor anabaki nyuma, anaanza kazi. Hiyo field itakuwa flat mzuri sana. Unaelewa flat? Unaelewa kweli? Umeona ile saa ile watoto wetu wanakimbia kwa mambo vile hiyo field iko, alafu track iko there bibi. Hiyo ndio inaletwa hapa. Mnielewi? Kama mnafikiri 55 million ni nini hiyo? Naona wale wananchi hawapendi hiyo kazi. Mnapenda? Ni hao tu wanapenda, nyinyi hampendi. Mnapenda? Mnataka hivyo? Hiyo field ikae flat, ikae mzuri, katikati ni green, huko round iko red. Alafu tukimbia hapo. Hata mimi mwenyewe nitakuwa mdogo young nitaanza hivyo. Sinianze practice hii. Next year mimi nikiambiwa on your marks, mimi niko hata mimi 5000 meters. Ama mnaona mimi siwezi hiyo mambo? Sinaweza. Lakini hata saa hii niko na mbio. In 2.5 years, mnaona ile mbio nimeweka kwa hii kazi yetu. Ama mjaona? So saa ile wao vijana wetu wanakimbia kwa field, mimi nakimbia kwa maofisi ya ministers, nakimbia kwa maofisi ya kila mtu huko nikitafuta vitu zenye zitakuja Aldai. Na nataka kushukuru Mheshimiwa Mvurya kwa ile kazi ametufanyia. Mvurya ametupatia sports academy hapa Aldai. Nilienda huko nikapiga smile hivi moja. Mvurya akaona smile akasema analeta hapa Aldai. Sio naona mko kwa hesabu, sio? Mulifanya hesabu vizuri mkaona hii smile ikishikana na hii kazi itafanya mambo ikwenywe hapa Aldai. Na ndio maana leo mimi na mjumbe mwingine tu wawili tu Nandi hii ndio tuko na sports academy 55 million ya serikali ya Kenya ina land Aldai constituency. Sasa unipige makofi jamii. Sijafanya. So unaona hiyo mbio niko naye pia. Si nimeshika. Na mimi sitaki kwa 100 meters kwa sababu 100 meters inaishia tu hapa hivi. Ikikuwa 5000 nafanya laps. Si ni kweli? So nimefanya lap ya kwanza, tumefikisha Keseke hapa, bado niko kwa hiyo mbio. Kwa sababu tunataka hii Aldai yetu yote ijengeke, ikue mahali penye siku moja kila mtu atakuwa akikuja akisema nataka ile Aldai, ile sports academy kwa Aldai, hale mahali inaitwa Kesenge. Na siku ile watafika hapa, tusisahau mila yetu. Ndio sasa hivi wanafika hapa, tuko na mama wanapiga madansi ile ya zamani, tuko na vijana kama watoto wetu leo mliona vile wanafanya hii agency. Hata mimi kwanza nilishindwa kabisa. Lakini watanifanyia practice. Siku ya kufungua mimi sasa nitakuwa agency mwenyewe. Si ndio? Atakuwa nikikuja nikisalamia watoto niambie hebu tuende dance kidogo, niambie vile hiyo anguka nayo inaangukwa. Na hizo vitu zingine. Lakini ikifika kwa ya mama pia tuna dance ya wamama. Na hiyo wamama ndio unaona ukienda kama Nairobi huko wanaitanga Wamasai wakuja wacheze waimbie wakimbiaji. Na wakimbiaji wanakuja ni nani? Si Wakale. Wale sisi Wamasai na tuko Wakale hapa. Simufanya mambo. Wewe mama, mbona mnapatiana biashara? Simchangamke. Na wazee ongea jogi wetu ndani wao ni Nyaolin. Si mnajua hizo manyimbo? Kama ile ya Jose. Ama nani ajui Jose hapa? Tunajua wote. Tunajua nyimbo zake. Kwa nini tusifanye hiyo alafu siku ile watu wanakuja hapa tunafanyia hawa hizo manyimbo, mnalipwa pesa ya haraka. Mmeenda mmeweka pesa wapi? Nani hataki pesa mfukoni? Mnipatie tu mtu mmoja hataki. Sisi wote tunataka. Hata hao watoto. Watoto mnataka pesa? Mfanyie nini pesa? Mnunue sweet. Na kwenda trip. Okay, nasikia hiyo mambo yenu.
Chotajitab Kalenjin ko pichainik cheitun agenge eng agenge kong'ete komasta nebo Kesangei eng olin bo Aldai eng county nebo Nandi. Igorta netesetai ko nebo lumdaetab sports complex noto nebo Aldai constituency kondochini MP nebo komasata Marian Kitany. Ko tesetai koitun logoiwekab emet eng tetutiet nebo Kass Mashinani kenyoru kamung'et nenwach koyewege konyiketesetai ak logoiwekab emet ara meloitu.